into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I had to inhale
that
for
was
that
so
one.
good. I know, you gave it a go. I appreciated that. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to another edition of the Whispers After Show. We're talking Season 1, Episode 9, Broken Child. If you're not already subscribing, please hit that subscribe button right below me. Plus, if you're listening to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, etc., give us that 5-star rating. 5-star. 5.
So many fives.
Fossy it up with 5s. Always feel free to interact, chat, comment, all that. We like to discuss. You're very good about that. I'm your host, Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean, joined by a full panel of lovely, lovely ladies, starting with Francesca.
Hey everyone.
Did you just spit?
No, I didn't
not,
spit.
but
It was a good laugh.
You want me to do that with you too? I
Sorry.
can do yours too.
Sorry, didn't mean
No worries. But through the laughter, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, XOXOCSEA.
And I'm Lauren Salaun. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Lauren Salaun, Salaun.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at April Whisenhant.
Spell out
And
your
Miss
last name.
Chicken Soup for the Soul over here. Once again.
All right, April. Initial thoughts of episode 9.
I was kind of bored with it. Not kind of bored, actually. I was really bored with it until the very last few minutes, like we were talking about. But I just felt like it was a lot of filler, but not even like good filler, like filler that didn't necessarily need to be there. I liked the we definitely found out a lot more about the Thomas storyline, but then it's like the Thomas storyline didn't even end up mattering ultimately.
Yeah, true
I
that.
don't know. It was a little less exciting than I'm used to, I guess.
It moved pretty slowly, and I think up until the last, 15 minutes or so, the details that we learned weren't really that important. Usually I feel like I'm taking a ton of notes and like, oh my gosh, this, but I have like 10 bullets. That's it.
Just
10 bullets. Okay, what about you, Francesca?
Yeah, samesies. I thought it was kind of slow, and it had me pondering irrelevant questions like, where are the children?
Yeah.
Why? Well, I mean, the last episode that we had, I said I don't understand how they can kill Drill if it comes back, but I like that my question got answered. But those were that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, I don't understand what this is, like you said, like filler, like.
And where is Henry?
Where the heck is Henry? Still locked in that car, listening to his mom.
Henry got out of the car, remember? Because he walked down the stairs and saw, but like...
That's right.
That
And then he went right back into it. He went right back into it.
And stay there for
the next thing we know, tonight's episode, they're at the hospital or whatever. So literally, like, where is Henry?
And Minx, where are all the children?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's plenty of other creepy ones, though. We could get to that
They're at school.
shortly.
So I actually thought I'm in slight disagreement.
Oh.
I know,
How dare you.
Shocking.
I
And
like
actually, Erin Schmelling was just in chat, and she also said it was an intense episode. And I kind of was on her page.
Maybe
Here's why. I was a little creeped out by the kids that we did see.
Yeah.
And I was also intrigued at kind of some of the turns with the Thomas storyline. I agree with you that the first 15 minutes were a little bit of and I thought the first 15 minutes were interesting because we get the flashback and then we get like this, all of a sudden Lena is now a part of the mix with Wes and Claire.
I don't like it. I hate it so much.
I'm ready for Lena to...
Oh, okay.
Still.
To bite the bullet?
Yeah.
Maybe Drill will
Go to
get
jail or
inside
something.
of her or something.
Like, come on.
Wait.
Oh, what? Oh, gosh.
I thought that was weird, though, that she was just all of a sudden like, I'm going to be with you guys.
Yeah.
Right. Well, also, like, okay, so she just shot Thomas, and you hear her say to Wes that she's, you know, kind of praying that he dies, and like, oh my gosh, who is this person that she's become or whatever? She's
Right.
done this unthinkable thing, but then Wes is like, I got you, girl. Like, I'll call in a few favors, and it's just never addressed. Like, and maybe it'll be addressed in the future, but we only have a few more episodes left, and so I'm like, is no one gonna ask
I feel like
how
it was
Thomas was shot?
Way too easy to be like, oh, don't worry about it. I
Exactly.
work for the government. Come on, wifey, you're good.
Right.
I got this.
I had issue with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was
She
weird.
also just has annoyed me the whole season. So I'm like not Lena's biggest fan. So I'm
Ditto.
I
Ready.
was that bothered me too, as well as when they left, like when they were at the hospital and the police came in, they didn't even know what they were talking to the, you know, the nurse there or whatever, and he's like, you're looking for me and I'm gonna go, and then they acted like he was a criminal, like let's go, and I was just like, what? Like, it's not being addressed. Like, there
Yeah.
needs to be a little bit more verbal if you're gonna talk about it, or don't make that up so we don't have to like wonder all the little
There
Yeah,
were like
don't-
holes
details.
with all that.
Don't they
Yeah.
think when Thomas wakes up, he's going to be like, hey, that crazy bee shot me?
Yeah.
Right.
I get the whole like West thing with they know that the policemen or the FBI or whoever are around looking at all the different hospitals. So I get that kind of like, oh, we see them come in, I'm here. What I get that like, oh hey, okay, you're looking for me, because it's like in 2 seconds it would have come to that. But it's the not addressing of the like, who shot Thomas?
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It was just weird. And then I also thought it was strange at how Jessup is now so Team Claire. Like, just all of a sudden he's like, I got you, girl. Where
Right.
there was so much strange unhelpfulness.
I think
stood
that
behind her,
crossed.
but-
I think he crossed that line when he
At the nuclear plant. A little
right,
bit.
and he
Yeah.
brought Thomas
That
to
too.
her.
But it just still seems weird. 'cause
Henry.
It was
Henry.
so it
Ugh.
was so like blatantly no, and now it's like
Yeah.
the exact.
Yeah.
Just like, I'll do anything for you.
Did you want to read the comment from?
Yes, please read a comment.
I was gonna read a different one than I was saying I was
Oh.
originally gonna read.
Oh,
Okay.
Which one?
well, because the plot hole.
Oh,
Tell-
yeah.
tell us about
okay,
plot
so
holes.
Vince Carrade on Twitter from last week. Oh no, I just did a bad thing. He says, hold on, let me go back.
Well, while April's looking for it, I
Yeah.
did think on the note of Jessup, I thought it was interesting that we learn a little bit more about his personal life, how
Yes.
he's going through a divorce
Yes.
because his ex-wife,
Oh, yes.
almost ex-wife, didn't want to have kids. Now she's pregnant. Blah blah blah.
Mm.
Like, that was kind of random. So is it going to come up at
True.
some point?
Possibly.
I mean, I hope they don't just
For
throw
any
that out
reason?
there
Yeah,
for fun.
it was a little like it was a bonding moment, I guess, between him and Sean. But
I think
who
they
knows
probably
if
did
that
it
turns
for
into something.
a reason.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Vince Carrade on Twitter said, or on YouTube, I should say, said, the show has more plot holes than a Polish submarine. And I can say that. I'm half Polish. LOL. And it's so true. Like, there is just so much in this show that, I mean, I guess maybe it will all be answered in time, but it's very, like, holy, literally.
Right.
It's like, oh, we get this little piece and this little piece and this little piece and this little piece that have nothing to do with one another. So that's where it's a little, you know, kind of, I don't want to say confusing, because I feel like we're on track and I feel like I understand stuff, but it's just kind of like, wait, why are you telling me this right now?
Yeah.
And I feel like each week I probably say this all the time that I'm like, why are the characters are just continuously jumping to different conclusions and
Yeah.
not, you know, these are smart people who have really important jobs and you think pretty critically and analytically about things, and they're not like looking at other options or possibilities. They're just like, no, definitely it's this, go 100% forward, you know. So that's along the lines of, you know, having plot holes that they don't explore those other
Right.
options or even bring them up at all, and then
Yeah.
you're like, well, don't be a dumbass. And,
Like, where's
you know.
Henry?
Don't be a dum dum.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And then by the way, quick shout outs to the Slacker Elite in chat and Night Lily 66 in chat. Hello, welcome.
again.
Thank you for joining us. So we see that Claire, well, basically, so it's Claire, Wes, and Lena all sort of end up in Frommer's office, and we don't really know what's going to happen in that moment, but it ends up that Claire is very influential.
Persuasive.
She's very persuasive. Better word. She's very persuasive, and he gives them 24 hours to figure it all out.
Of course.
Basically.
Precisely.
You have 24 hours to tell me everything about Drill and why he's here and everything else. So I was like, that's a little unreasonable.
Yeah.
And yet they kind of figured a lot out in 24 hours.
Very true.
But
But not stuff that they're going to tell him.
yeah. Well, speaking of that, so they end up going on kind of a scavenger hunt of sorts.
Field trip.
A little bit of a field trip. They end up, so let's see, they all end up at Thomas's home thinking that they'll uncover some clues there. And from his, like, what, journal or some...
Journal-esque thing.
some kind of a journal. They find a very helpful photo. it's like literally it was a mystery novel tonight, I think, and just how all the pieces just came together.
Yeah.
But find this photo. The photo traces back to the mental institution that he was in as a child from 1982 to 92 or
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And from this photo, they figure out what he's... So, okay, here was my issue with this, too. How did they just get, like, easy access into this place?
They are like the government. So basically, like, I do what I want.
She didn't flash anything, did she? Or they didn't, like, show us that she did?
I don't think they they definitely didn't show it, but I think it's just kind of understood, like, hey, we do what we want, kind of thing.
Okay, I had issue with that, though.
Yeah,
I thought
no,
that was
I
strange.
think that's one of my issues with the show is not that it's not, like, an interesting subject and, like, I kind of like what they're doing. Some stuff just doesn't feel like come on,
authentic.
It could have been different or turned it a different way. It feels kind of like, what's the word? Like, I don't know. I'll think about it.
Anticlimactic?
No.
Forced?
No.
Oh.
Just like unreal. Like obviously the show's about something that's unreal, I hope. Because we're around a lot of electricity right now. But like some stuff is just not believable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take too many liberties.
Yeah.
You mean like the stuff that should be believable still isn't necessarily believable? Is that what you mean?
Kind of.
Like, oh,
a
they just
mixture.
randomly get into this building because whatever.
Right, and they randomly just walk into this old lady's room and like just randomly there's this awkwardly sketched thing on the wall. Like
For me, it was okay. In the picture, it's a picture of Thomas as a kid, and he's holding a little candle, which we learn later that his rabbi used to say like this quote to him. And in the mirror,
It only takes one candle to fight the darkness.
There you go.
Or something.
It sounds like
to that
something
effect.
from Spider-Man.
very motivational.
And so he's behind a mirror. So in the reflection of the mirror, you see this drawing of like what we learned to be a tree. So I'm the whole time thinking like, oh, it has something to do with the flash because you can see the flash in the picture in the mirror. So I'm like, oh, the light has something to do with it. And so it was just weird to me how they like saw the thing and they were like, wait, something's here. Like they thought that something was on that wall, and then automatically they turn around and they're like, no, we have to tear this wallpaper down and see what's underneath this tree. I'm like,
Right.
but how do you know that?
And
I mean, I
then
guess the reflection, that's how they know that, obviously. But it was still, I was
Sometimes
like,
it seems a little too easy.
Yeah. And then randomly the lady decides to finally talk.
the voice
and
says, don't let
say,
him out.
yeah, don't, the eyes, they're watching me. And I think it's like, the tree is like cheesy to me, I think, the whole tree thing, although I understand its significance, I guess, a little bit more now once, we find out later in the show. But like that drawing was just like, I don't know.
That drawing was creepy.
But the tree was also looked almost exactly like the
I agree with you.
the electric tree
Exactly.
or whatever we discovered that it was from the beginning.
I
It's
thought that
literally
too.
like the same shape as it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they could have left out that like creepy like child with the thing on its back, like.
But it was a story. I forgot the name of it now.
a
but-
Dybbuk.
The
Dybbuk.
Dybbuk. Yes, the Dybbuk. So Lena ends up, she's, while Claire and Wes have already arrived in Thomas's old room, Lena is still sort of
being Lena.
on a journey or something. And she tries to go into the chapel. It's locked. She sits down, and lo and behold, the rabbi shows up. Starts chatting with her, and she figures out that the rabbi was the one that took the photo based on the conversation that they have. So the rabbi ends up in the mix in the room just as the wallpaper is being ripped.
Yeah.
That whole thing
Like
was,
it's-
that whole thing was
Yeah,
weird.
a little too.
Yeah, just it was
coincidental.
also like, this all just happened so effortlessly.
Right.
Yes, it all just came together.
But I think it's probably, I mean, I feel like at this point we're being a little too harsh because I think there are 13 episodes.
There
right?
are, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
there are 13
Yeah.
episodes. This is episode 9. We still have a whole lot of information to establish in a very short amount of time. I mean, it depends on where they're going to leave us as far as like a season 2 goes. Well, either way, they're leaving us at the same point because everything's done. But at the same time, it's like we do have to have a lot of information. So like nonsensical stuff doesn't necessarily have to be explained. But I think more stuff, they should have explained a few more things than they are explaining right now. But
Right.
The rabbi, it was easy, but I mean, few things have to be.
It was nice that some of these dots were connected. So we figure out from this drawing on the wall that basically Thomas's brother Elliot, his body was taken over, and they kind of connected that Drill took over.
Okay, but how did they know that from the drawing on the wall? Because the drawing was of the Dybbuk
It was
story?
like
And
the
the
Dybbuk was
rabbi
like on
told-
the back.
Yeah.
Oh, because I guess the Dybbuk has like a
He's
story.
like, it creeps into their soul and it never lets go.
And I
Yeah.
guess in the conversations that Thomas had with
When he
the
was
rabbi
young.
when he was young,
Okay.
he basically he insinuated or he told the story of what happened or revealed it somehow, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
that makes
what
more sense to me.
That's what I'm going with on this one, I
Yeah.
guess.
I
Yeah.
mean, as for much like we were saying, as much as unbelievable, I'm happy they finally connected dots with that because I said, I literally was like, how do you kill like Drill? Like you can't kill Drill.
Well, wait, how
otherwise-
did you kill your brother when you're a child? I'm just thinking
Well,
Thomas is the Looney Tune.
Yeah, because he said he didn't believe it was him.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, but last week,
right,
I was
right, right.
thinking, like, how do you kill your brother?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking he's just straight up Looney Tune. But I mean,
we
I
were
guess
all
it's not.
thinking that.
Yeah.
And then it was, so basically from that, they all end up going to this tree, or they figure out, how did they know where the tree was? Was
From-
it in his
I think
backyard?
from the his
It was
little
at that lake.
Well,
they knew the place where
he
he died. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, and they just used the little thing he built as a map,
Right.
his little like 4th grade science project.
Yes,
But
his replica of,
There you
of
go.
the whole thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
Even before that,
diorama.
though, or I think before this point, we see the flashback with their dad,
Yes.
and it's the dad, running through the woods, yelling, "Thomas, Thomas, Thomas!" And then whenever he finally finds Thomas and asks where Elliot is, he's like, "Drill made me, or he made me do it,"
Yeah.
or whatever. So that's important because I'm like, why didn't you tell your? I mean, I guess maybe you sound even more crazy
You sound
if
like
you're
a
like,
cray-cray, yeah.
I killed my brother because he was possessed by this
By an
whatever
out
and-
of galactic thing.
yeah.
Dybbuk.
Outer, yes, right.
Super random tangent. Did anyone else, when they said that it's a Dybbuk, think of the Babadook? Has anyone seen that movie?
No, because I'm like frightened to. I read a review and I
It's
was like,
pretty good.
Wait,
but that's what
what?
it made. It's like
a
on
scary
Netflix
movie.
streaming. It's a scary movie,
Yeah.
but it made me think of that,
love
and I
scary movies.
forget like if there are any real good comparisons between those two
Just-
demons. But that's where my head went when they said Dybbuk. I was like,
Never seen it.
Babadook.
a creepy thing that has no purpose. Everyone in chat, have you seen the Babadook? By the way, Night Lily 66 says, I feel like it'll all connect at the end, and if not, it'll be very disappointing.
If not, boo.
We concur.
I sure hope
We
so.
agree with you. All right, so they end up at this tree, and it's like been blown apart because I guess Thomas figured out what he needed to do electrically to capture his brother inside of this tree, and then when the lightning strikes, boom, and bye-bye goes brother.
Yeah.
But he did realize, I guess, in that exchange that you saw, in that creepy exchange that they showed at the end, I thought that was kind of interesting. It seemed like, yeah, brother not there. That's not brother.
Well, for a second, I'm like, I'm full on like Thomas at this point because his brother is just like, Thomas, I'm your brother. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Because we see Thomas like basically lure him into the tree.
Right.
And Thomas is like, no, you're not Elliot. And he's like, I'm your brother. And he's like, Elliot? And then he's like, I know you're not him. And then that's when we see him reach out and he grabs Thomas's arm and then makes
God.
that scar that we see
him.
later.
Oh, yeah.
And poor little Elliot's
Well,
like, it doesn't
yeah.
matter. They're
He's like,
all
"They'll
coming.
come."
What happens? And I mean, I would have been hella messed up if I was Thomas. I
Right.
mean, after that happened to you. And then to see like this little contraption blow up and then the blood.
Yeah, no wonder
gone
he
it was.
was living
know,
without electricity.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? I mean, as a child growing up with knowing all of that, it's like no one would ever believe you.
Well,
no one.
you grow up in a
That's why you,
In
yeah,
a crazy
house.
house, right?
Yeah.
No, so it's like you feel so bad for this kid. The Slacker Elite just said the way Thomas killed his brother was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we've had a couple characters now who are super crafty and intelligent when it comes to
Murder?
electromagnetic
Oh.
things. Like
Smart.
Sean's like, Google blah 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 when he had to
Right.
do that thing at the plant, and then Elliot's like, I made a
Easy
contraption
peasy.
that will kill Drill.
Francesca made a good comment
guys are
while we were
smart.
watching, and she was like, okay, so does that mean you kill the electricity with more electricity? I kind of feel like it is. I mean, maybe not. I mean, I don't really know how else it would work other than we see like something in the model later whenever Wes is looking at it. There's like something that's poking up through the tree.
Yes.
But it is essentially like a wire running around it and then something going up through the tree. So I wonder like if that thing going up through the tree was just like hooked to something and it was
I think
electricity.
that's what channeling the lightning or
The lightning,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was just thinking, what was if Drill was in Elliot's body, what was Elliot gonna be doing?
Well, so Drill killed Elliot in order to be in Elliot's body, but so it's like a possession. So
like a
even though
parasite.
like it clearly still looks like Elliot's body, it's not Elliot anymore.
Right.
It's just Drill.
But what was he gonna do?
I don't know.
don't know.
Yeah.
Try to take
That's
over the world.
the prequel to the Whispers. I don't know. Yeah,
Ah.
I don't know. That's
It
we don't
seems
know.
very like try to take over the world ish.
or something.
Or something.
Right. So, but that revealed something very important in the sense of now we know that Drill can become like a parasite to a host body
Yeah.
or something, and that there's now potential for Drill is on the lookout for his host.
And
Why did it take Drill that long to figure it out and come back?
I mean,
well,
it's an
it was a
important
different
job.
one.
Yeah, or in a new Drill.
Maybe the mechanism
Oh.
for which they travel, it's just
Well, something had to be
Yeah.
recreated because they killed the being that
Right.
was on Earth. So I guess maybe it had to, or no, the tree. I guess the tree
yeah.
being crashed into and brought up and blown
Probably
up.
they were
and,
like X amount of light years away, and
Yeah,
they finally reached
20
it again.
years.
yeah.
I feel like someone needs to give us a Cliff's Notes at the end of this.
Somebody who's good at math.
Let's paint,
Help
like
us.
math and science and all
I'm
that
good enough,
jazz.
but this is
Science.
This is a whole
I don't
other
even know.
equation for all of us.
E equals MC squared.
So, and then we come back. Basically, Claire says to everyone, like, Frommer can't know about this. Basically, in fear that if he knows that the children could be a vehicle for Drill,
He'll kill 'em all.
He'll kill all the kids, or because how do you know that one of the kids has been taken over?
Ooh, that just
right.
gave me hocus pocus flashbacks.
But that also seems so ridiculous too. Like, okay,
Frommer's pretty
so we're gonna get
ridiculous.
every single kid that's been touched by Drill, but then also every other kid who could be.
Yeah, I know.
There was
yeah.
there was someone in comments. Hold on, from last week that says I have 2 theories. One, Drill's a military experiment gone wrong, and that's why the government is so desperate to cover it up. And 2, Minx is actually Drill, and she has been pulling the strings since
That was
the
the other
beginning.
one that I was gonna wanted to read too.
Oh, Minxie.
Well, okay, so
We just hate Minx.
we hate her a little bit, but I think the reason why Drill chose Elliot in the first place is because he needs a completely moldable. I mean, we haven't seen anything from Elliot, obviously, besides him dying, but it seems like he was a completely like moldable child that this being or whatever could go into.
Manipulate. Yeah.
So, and Minx so far has been the most moldable child
That we've seen.
that
yeah,
we
we've
have seen for
that
sure.
we've seen.
But when we were watching, I mean, Lauren said it. She was like, "But that's so easy. It's so easy for Minx to be
Like it seems like the
Drill
obvious
host body."
Right.
choice, you know. And I would hope that I would want them to kind of like trick us a little
Probably
bit.
like sweet
more
little
than that.
Harper
Or what about? Oh no,
with those
okay.
big ol' eyes.
We'll go into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, then they cut to and Frommer has a guy spying on them, so he sees everything,
course.
which that's going to be very interesting next week. So simultaneously, as all this is going on, they're trying to save Thomas's life, and sort of Sean is there.
doing some
that.
stuff. Oh, and we see what's her face again?
The doctor.
Maria.
Maria
Maria.
Benavides.
Oh.
Did I make that up?
I was singing a different Maria song, but I
Oh.
appreciated that you did that. I was singing like West Side Story
Yeah,
or
I
something.
went both places.
Yeah, okay, you did?
Yeah.
So
They kind of blend together.
I went Carlos Santana.
So Jessup and Sean are both kind of like staking defense, like, you know, no one's gonna infiltrate, and even, you know, Jessup kind of goes on a quest to make sure like what kids are in this hospital, what's going on in the children's ward, and he narrows onto some creepy girl with a mask on her face, and her eyes were like blinking at him, and I was like, oh, you're gonna do
punch
some
it.
shit.
I know, right? That's what I would have done.
Punch
It's a target. It's a target.
Lauren just wants
I'm
the kid
angry
punched.
for a lot of characters. Sorry.
Was it? I can't remember. Was it one of us that were saying it, or I don't think this was a show. They were like, "Oh, of course. Why would they think that the first sick kid is like gonna be nobody heard that? Gonna be like possessed by Drill? Like that was like again such an obvious thing. Like, oh, this kid's really sick, and then the girl's gonna turn around and be creepy."
Yeah, no, when she came into the picture, I was immediately thinking, oh, some bad shit is about to go down.
Right.
And of course, as soon as Jessup gets in this elevator and that kid freaking shows up, I was like, oh, no. I would have like,
First
I
of
would
all,
have
where's your mom?
How did she get a hold of that?
Yeah. And how are all the adults doing such a bad job of keeping track of everything? Like, they keep they're losing Thomas. The doctor gets locked out, and
Oh my gosh.
these kids
Well,
are
it's her own
wandering
idiot
around
fault.
everywhere with drugs. The kid who's dying loosens up out of all of his stuff and goes and wanders around the back construction
That's
area of the
what I'm
hospital.
saying.
Come on.
So the mom
Pay
was
attention,
the
adults.
mom was that asleep to her child
No.
who was having heart palpitations
Yes.
or whatever was happening to
dying.
him.
Was dying.
Was dying.
Yes.
He got out of
Yeah,
bed.
or the nurses who are
No, it's all
monitoring
things.
things, or I don't know,
Suddenly
maybe
the hallways are empty.
Jessup and people travel
Right.
in pairs because every time an adult's alone with a kid, weird crap happens.
Right.
God.
You'd think now
Figure
that
it
would
out.
happen, right? I mean, yeah. So Jessup stays in this elevator. She injects him with, and that's the thing too is when you're you know that you're in a place where
Kids are crazy.
no, not only that, but Drill is targeting this location. Why
Right.
would you take an elevator?
Yeah.
Take the freaking
Which
stairwell.
conveniently stops.
Right.
Well, even so,
Yeah.
don't turn your back to the evil-looking child
No.
with a creepy mask on.
Right.
Yeah,
you don't do
can't
that.
you just palm the head and keep her
punch
little
her.
You say right
needle
here,
away
child.
from you? How do all these things keep happening?
I don't
is
know.
my
I think
thing.
we would have easily beaten Drill by now, though, because we
The
have
four of
got
us?
it a lot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
With my chicken soup for the soul voice and everything, it would have happened.
We're
we
really
could have
not
done it.
I just
safe in
be
this
punching
studio, though,
kids
guys.
left
I
and
know.
right.
Oh my. Oh hi Renji 90998 and Sylvia Love. They've made it to chat. They've made it. Thank you. We welcome you. Yeah. No. So that was totally creepy. So Jessup passes out, of course. So he's now down for the count. Not
Yeah.
helpful, right? He's
Useless.
Dunzo.
By Jessup.
And of
By
course,
a kid.
she didn't inject enough to kill him. But
No.
but
Sent a warning.
2 cc's, not 3 cc's.
Right.
Right.
Almost. So, and then, Maria finds him, freaks out, tells Sean, Jessup's down for the count, and then Sean asks, where was he injected? And she was like,
bum.
on his leg. And he was like, oh, like a child did. Yeah.
Hand height.
Ay.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Or
I felt
also
that way
because
too.
that's where you inject things into big muscles too.
Yeah.
But P.S.
point.
So when they moved Thomas's body because of all that,
Conveniently.
To
when
the
they
room with all the flashlights. Or they're
construction lights.
I know a place where there's no light. Okay, there are a million light bulbs around.
Yeah,
You
I was
dim
literally
lit.
like, this looks like the worst room to transfer him to.
I just thought it was convenient that there was an empty
Yeah, let's go
construction
to the back
site.
wing where nobody's
Right.
no people
No,
are.
yeah, no one helpful can come down here and
Just
break through a
creepy
door
children.
if necessary. Right. Yeah, just creepy children. And lo and
We are
behold,
getting heated
this
over
no
here.
that the whole
Right.
end I was like, what is happening?
I know, me too. I was like,
What is
Tricked
happening?
me.
So Sean turns off all the power, and then
But then,
little
but then the
boy.
things come on. I don't know.
The little boy.
with
Yeah.
the mask on, the
Gets
crazy
up.
clown, creepiest mask
His
that
sister
you've ever
made it
seen.
for him though. It's a present.
Oh my goodness!
But hold on.
the best mask ever.
And make him smile again.
Yeah, it was actually
But
not
wait,
very
I just
cool,
thought of
but all
something. If his sister, they're probably around the same height, right? the sister could only get the needle into the thigh, but this little boy can reach way up on the wall and turn on all the lights and then lock it.
That's true. He didn't seem like he was that.
Probably just turn on the lights.
You think so?
No,
Yeah,
we saw
sure, of
it.
course.
We saw his hand. He turned on all the lights, and then he locked it.
He got a box.
Conveniently with a lock.
Maybe he had a step stool.
See.
He just carries things around the hall.
I mean, you never know. You're
Making it
prepared
too
in
easy.
this situation.
He definitely knew all the right things to do. Like, he locked up the
Right.
breakers.
But
so
Drill tells them all
Yeah.
the right things to do.
that's true.
Another thing, also, on the subject of the kids. So these kids, who act in accordance with whatever Drill tells them to do, they don't become possessed in those moments necessarily. But
No.
why the hell do they all get so creepy? Like, is Drill like,
Yeah.
say this in the creepiest child murderer voice you can?
Well, wait,
You know,
okay.
like, wouldn't they kind of say it in their normal, like, little kid voice? I feel like the kids in the beginning were creepy, but were just, like, saying it as little
Like
kids.
Harper?
Say things. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like,
She's like, "Hi, Mommy, wanna play this game with me?"
and now they're like, what about the other one? You know?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. They're also doing a lot more serious tasks. Like, Harper did not know that she was ultimately,
they're starting to
like,
get
making
real
her mom
murdery.
fall through the treehouse. But,
Or did she?
No. But the kid tonight, the little boy, he knew, like, okay, so he tells Thomas, like, Drill has a question for you. How did you kill the first one? And then when Thomas says he's not answering, like, screw you, Drill, basically. And then he holds the two plugs together. Like, he knew what was about to happen.
yeah.
So I guess, like, how do you not, like, how is it not creepy when you're like, you about to die, but, like, what'd you do?
Wait, but also he knew he was gonna electrocute Thomas, but he says, I can't say hell because that's a bad word.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
No, that's what I was thinking
Yeah,
too. I think
priorities,
I said that
But you,
while
but
watching.
you
I'm
gonna murder
I'm
somebody.
like, oh
alright.
wait, but this is okay.
Moral priorities. I have to say as well. I
Kids
mean,
these days.
I feel bad now because that we're like saying all these things, but how like stupid was Maria to leave the room?
I
Like,
agree
you
with
knew
you.
that
Well,
was
that's
gonna
the
happen.
thing. Like the adults travel in pairs.
Don't
Stay
leave.
with the people
And,
that
like-
you're trying to protect from Drill.
You can yell down a hollow or down a narrow hallway and be like, Sean? And if he doesn't answer, like,
Just
he's
don't-
gone.
yeah, right.
Like, he's not there yet.
It's-
With you.
It's like
Yeah.
when you're watching a really cheesy horror film and they run
They
up
all-
the
they do all the
stairs
wrong
and you're like,
things.
yes,
Yeah.
where are you going? Like,
Yeah.
you know, the
Turn back.
Exactly.
Turn.
They're like, he's the most important because he has the answers for how to kill it. Just
Leave
wait,
him alone.
wait right there. I'll be right back because weird crap's happening. So I'm
me
gonna
see
leave you
all the
alone.
lights are on.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave
Right.
you alone now.
All the electricity's on. Let me leave you alone in the room.
So the one clinching the question that basically was the question of the hour to make it if Thomas was gonna live or die was, how did you kill the first one?
And you know
Yet
what?
they figured it out anyway.
Right. Although he died in vain, I do appreciate this moment because this was before we saw the flashback of Elliot being like, the other ones are gonna come or whatever.
Right.
So he's like the first one, and that's when I was like, oh, there's more of these
Yeah.
because they're still using the same name.
Right.
So I
Right.
thought it was like the one person. That's why the whole time I was like, how do they kill Drill and he's back again? Now we
Well, it
have
could-
some understanding.
Maybe
that's what
that's
he
like a
said last
title or
week.
something of
Yeah.
the like, you know,
Drill
the-
one and
the
drill two.
Yeah, they're the drill guy.
That's what Thomas said last week. He was like, there has to be another one because I
Right.
know that I killed
Yeah.
the first one.
I thought he was just like bloopy or like he didn't
okay.
remember like everything that happened that night. Like I didn't
or
really think
how
about
do you
it.
know, like we've been saying for a while, how do you know for sure he's
Exactly.
gone?
Yeah.
You know, you
Well,
don't. You don't know what the H this is.
I appreciate
Hell.
the fact that Thomas wasn't willing to give it up. I mean, clearly he's been through enough at this point, so
Yeah.
he wasn't willing to give it up to
Right.
the creepy little boy.
I
So
felt
the little
sad
boy
though. I was
electrocuted
like,
him.
give this guy a break.
I
And
know.
then it just like one freaking break. And of course, Sean gets in there like
2 seconds
late.
too late.
2 seconds too late. And then it was funny too because they didn't like there was no resolution with the damn kid. I'm like,
Yeah, they just let him stand
That's what
there.
I'm
He's just
saying.
standing
Like, he's
behind
just
him.
standing there. Get that kid. He
Punch
did
him.
this. Yeah, punch him out. He'll be fine. Just get
He'll
him.
be fine. Yeah.
Well,
Punch
you
him
know,
out
knock
until-
him out real quick. Deal with it later, but don't let him just like be back there being creepy and like getting something to stab you with.
Did I do
everyone in
that?
chat right now is talking about creepy kids in horror movies. By the way. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Love chat. So Anywho, so Thomas dies, sadly,
Aw, bye,
and really we close with Frommer going to see the president at Camp David and revealing that we're going to have to sacrifice a child, and are you going to be able to do that kind of a thing.
After
and then
after they look at his daughter
Right.
playing with a
Oh.
creepy doll or something
Yeah.
like that.
So when they did that, did you think that Frommer was assuming that Drill was going to take over her body because she's the president's daughter, or what were you thinking?
That's what I thought, only because I'm like, why are you focusing on her for so
Exactly.
long? But I guess maybe they were just focusing on like a child to show us like, oh, this is a child. It could very well be the president's child. But for a second I did, and then I was kind of like, maybe they're not going there because she's not important. I mean, she's important enough in the sense that she's the president's daughter, but she's not important enough in the sense of the Whispers as a show.
I didn't go there with Frommer thinking that. I went there thinking that, like,
Okay.
the president's daughter would be kind
Good
of
target.
a good target and the most strategic. But we do have a handful of episodes left, so you
Yeah.
don't know. There could be
That's true.
one solid one focused on her, and she could become
Right.
kind of a key player.
I thought two things. I thought the same thing, like, okay, they're focusing on her, so maybe they're gonna like willingly like sacrifice her or something. Or my other one was, and I just forgot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So good it's gone, and I'm not going to tell you right now.
Maybe it'll come back in like 3 seconds.
Okay,
I just want
talking,
Game of Thrones there.
Oh.
I don't know if I watched it. Trying to remember.
Before we step into
Oh, I
you
remember.
remember? Go.
They kept focusing on his daughter in the sense that they were saying, if we sacrifice, like if it's one kid, we save all of ours. And so it's like touching a president's weak spot, because it's like, well, if one kid has to die, that's better than my daughter dying, or
Right.
so on and so. So I thought it could go two ways.
Right. Before we go into predictions for next week, did we miss anything with Broken Child?
I don't
Dum.
think so.
All right.
Wait,
Well,
question.
yes.
So most of the time they have the kids, or Drill has the kids play
a
a
game.
game, right? To get something.
Yeah.
Right? So like the little girl did it so her brother would
Wake up.
up. And then she said, now it's your turn. What was he getting out of it?
Maybe he woke up. I don't know. I'm sure they'll probably tell us. But we haven't learned exactly we don't know what Harper was doing at the very beginning. We just know that she did the thing to make her mom fall through the treehouse, and
So
then
the
she
dad-
texted from the phone to make her mom wake up. But we don't know why she did the thing to make her mom fall through the treehouse exactly.
Right.
So they don't really tell us.
Well, that was sort of
everything.
the spiral to get her dad into the
Right.
hospital and not doing his job.
But we don't know
getting her dad
we don't know
back,
the prize
maybe.
that she was gonna get.
Oh.
It's because they all get a prize for their actions.
Because then her prize was her mom coming alive again.
But that was the prize for the
something
text.
else. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So they don't always tell us.
Yeah. That's just a random thought.
You're right. No,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay, let's do some predictions.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I can't stop. I keep on wanting to sing "Come Little Children."
Oh,
You know that?
I feel like we should open
don't
with
know
that
that
next week.
song.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
creepy.
Okay, start us off, April.
Oh gosh. All right. I'm definitely thinking that I don't think that Drill is actually going to be able to fully inhabit a body.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I think he's gonna halfway get there. It's gonna be a process, and then they're gonna be like, "You out."
Is it a Journey song? Oh, we're halfway.
Exactly.
Right.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, sorry.
Um,
I don't know my 80s music very well, guys. I'm sorry.
They play that every third quarter of every Auburn game. That's why I know. But I don't think he's going to be able to fully inhabit a child because, honestly, I would kind of love it if it was Minx, and no offense to the children, I don't want
She
to
had to
just
get
kill all
sacrificed,
some
too.
children, but
We need our crops.
if it's someone, then be Minx. But I just can't imagine it being anyone else and them having to kill the child. I just don't really feel like they'll go there. It went there in a different way with showing Thomas kill Elliot, but this would be an act of adults killing a
Right.
child, and I feel like they won't go there. So that's why I feel like it's gonna partially inhabit, but it takes longer than just happening
Wow.
in an instant.
That
Impressive that your
listening
mind
to
is
you-
like going here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, April.
Oh.
For the goal.
Next.
I feel like a letdown now because I don't feel like I have very
Oh.
good
No, I have
concrete
faith in you.
predictions.
Let's hear it.
So
Much faith.
in the teaser for next week, which I don't think we really saw a whole lot about what is coming up, but Frommer asked the president, are you ready to make your decision? So I think he's going to do something pretty dramatic related to the children. And I don't know if that's like quarantining all of them or something for a while, but I think something big is going to happen related to the children and the president. And then I feel like this isn't really going to happen, but I'm ready for Lena to be gone. And I know I say this every week, so I'm
she's
just
not
like
dying.
want
We need to give
her
it up.
to be. I know, but I just want it to happen, so I have to keep saying it like it's some self-fulfilling prophecy or
Oh my
something.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Francesca?
So I was thinking, well, two things to go off of what both you said. What April said, they had this moment with Claire when they realized that a kid's gonna have to, I think it was when a kid's gonna have to like die basically, and she like had that ugly cry face. But I think that's when they were talking with Frommer or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so for a second I thought she was thinking that Henry's gonna have to.
Oh.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah,
So
it seemed
it-
really
It better not be
personal.
Henry.
No.
Yeah,
she
it's
did
just
that.
very, very personal. So I was wondering if that was any kind of foreshadowing or if that was just like her realizing that something as bad is going to happen to a
I don't
kid.
think she's that sensitive of a character, though.
And
Like,
that's why
remember
it
when
was
she
very
No,
like
why
it
would
stood
she
out.
She was like,
automatically
knock,
go
knock,
to-
knock. No, coming in.
But
That's
why
the
would
whole
she
gun
automatically go to Henry? There's no
Yeah,
reason for
it
her
doesn't-
to automatically
That
go to
also, which I guess we went over quickly, that did seem really weird when
was
she like
weird.
let out that agonizing cry.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
I think I laughed.
Oh,
Yeah.
evil.
Sylvia Love just said, I wanted Lena to be gone too.
Right? Thank you, Sylvia. Good lordy.
So the Slacker Elite just said, could Drill be planning a nuclear holocaust in order to create food for his planet, and that's his end game? Possibly.
What would
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
the
feel like we've
food
gotten
be?
far from that.
Human?
I
You
don't
know?
Yeah. I think there's gonna, honestly, I think next week will be interesting in the sense that the aftermath of all this Thomas stuff and how the kids are gonna be neutralized or not. I don't know. I
Like,
mean,
how
it's-
do they make that decision? Like, how does Frommer think he's? How do you make a decision? You can't ask the president to
the
make a
president's
decision.
like,
What are you gonna do?
I'm taking all the kids
Executive
for a little
power.
while. Thank you.
yeah, anyway.
But Drill's the only one. He's the ultimate decider. You know.
It's going to be interesting how they handle this storyline. I have to say, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not certain of it. Tweet us, everyone, please. Please share your thoughts.
Yeah, what
I know
do
you
y'all
will.
think?
I'm very curious because next week I think will be quite interessante.
I think so too.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean. That's Francesca. Where can they find you?
You can find me at XOXOCSCA.
I do that funny every time, somehow. Lauren, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Lauren Salaun, LAUREN on every single social media platform, basically.
And you can find me doing my best Alison Dean
Ooh, girl!
I know.
April Whisenhant.
So, everyone,
Very nice.
thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week for episode 10.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.